Hello and welcome to a new tutorial. Because this year is a really bad year for traveling, we are going to use Photoshop to travel to Paris or to London. And I also have made another example how to travel to Vietnam using this lovely couple. First of all, we need to select our subjects. In this case, I have this lovely couple and I'm going to select them by using the pen tool. Let's zoom in. We start with a point, let's say from this point, and then I'm going to select all the parts of this picture. I'm going to speed up this process. So after you use the pen tool to select the subject, press A or the selection tool, select all the selection that you have, go on top and choose exclude overlapping shapes, right click on the screen and choose make selection and then press OK. And now let's press the mask and this is our selection. So after the selection is done and you are happy with the result, let's go to our first picture, which is from London, and then I'm going to place this couple on our London picture. Alright, let's hide it. Now let's try to hide this guy by using the clone stamp. First of all, create a new layer, take the clone stamp, alright, and just hold Alt or Option and press outside the person. Simply draw, hold Alt and take this area from this part, from the right, and put it on our subject. It's a really slow process, but it makes a lot of wonders. It doesn't have to be perfect because we'll have this couple which will hide that area, but in our case I think now looks really great because, as I said, I'm going to put this couple on top and then everything will be great. Now another thing that I want to show you, I will teach you how to draw some hair to look more realistic, because as you can see now it looks really sharp and usually the hair is not like that. So let's create a new layer and I'm going to give you this hairbrush so you can play with it and you can draw on top some hair parts. Alright, so select using Alt or Option a color from the hair and play with the hair outside the head. As you can see, it adds some hairlines which already makes this much better. Alright, I'm going to speed up a bit this process. Usually what I'm doing here is just draw with that brush on the side of the head of the hair, and then I'm changing the colors so it looks more realistic. After you finish with the brush tool, I'm going to use the clone now to bring some parts of the original hair to the side of my drawing. So I'm creating a new layer, I'm taking the clone stamp tool or press the S key and hold Alt and take a part of the hair and just draw it where do you think it's much better for your subject. Okay, I think it looks nice. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the guy's hair. So I'm using the same layer. I'm taking again the hairbrush tool and I'm going to select a color which is more close to his natural hair color, and I'm just going to draw some hair lines on top of his head. So now that we have finished, let's group everything by holding Shift and select all three layers. right click and convert this to a smart object. Now let's find the better placement for this couple. Ctrl T or Ctrl Command T, make it smaller, and let's find the best position for them. When you do a photo composition like this, you have to remember three things. The perspective, so the couple looks like it's from that picture. You have to take care of the coloring, so they have the same colors as the whole image. And of course, you have to take care of the shadows and lights. Let's move them around. So here they look too big, here they look too small. I think I'm going to place them a bit to the top and more to the left. Let's double click. I think this looks really nice. So now we have the couple placed on the bridge, but of course they do not look natural. Let's try to see what we can do. First of all, let's match the colors of this couple with the colors of the background, and I'm going to use one quick method. So select curves from the adjustment layers. Be sure that you have clicked on the layer thumbnail, not on the mask. Now double click on this black selection sample and choose the blackest point of your image, of your background image. I think it's this one. Choose OK, click yes, then double click on the white sample tool and choose the whitest color of your background image. I think this is it. Click OK, and then Alt or Option, hold Alt or Option and click and place this adjustment layer inside your couple. Alright, now repeat the process, but now we are going to select the darkest color from our couple, not from the background. Do not double click, just click once. And I think it's somewhere around here. And the whitest is his shirt. Okay, I think they look much better now. I'm going to use again the curves adjustment layer. I'm going to place it inside our couple. So hold Alt or Option and click between the layers. Let's see what can we do to decrease a bit the light. Okay, I think it looks nice. Let's create the shadows. Let's zoom in and let's hide everything. As you can see in the original photo, the shadows have a bluish tint. So we are going to use the same thing. As you can see, the shadow is really long. Let's bring back our layers. So go and create another new layer, which is under the couple. Take soft round brush and set your layer to multiply. And let's take a sample by holding Alt or Option from these bridge colors. So if you are going to paint now, as you can see, it adds that color which we want to keep. So we need a shadow here, also one under the other leg, the other shoe. It has to be really small because this is a contact shadow. Another one here, and now another one here on the troller. Now I'm going to duplicate this layer and I'm going to add a mask. Take the brush tool again and be sure the flow is set to 100. I'm going to hide some parts of my shadow because I want the contact shadow to be more pronounced. Okay, I think this looks good. So this is just the contact shadow. Now I'm going to create another shadow, which is the couple's shadow. So hold Ctrl or Command and click on your layer. As you can see, it adds a selection of the layer. Create a new layer underneath. So hold Ctrl or Option and press on the create new layer. And now fill this one with the same color, the blue color, and press Ctrl or Command T, right click, and then flip vertically and drag this shadow underneath your layer. Now zoom out and hold Ctrl or Command and just drag this corner to the side to create perspective. Don't worry about the legs shadow. We are interested now only on this shadow of the trolley. So be sure that that shadow it's good, and then we are going to move those shadows with the puppet word. Okay, I think it looks nice. So go to edit, choose puppet warp, and now let's select the parts that we want move. So click here. So that means those parts will stay in that place, and we are going to move other parts, which are those legs shadow. So click on one leg and drag it in front. So just match the legs much better now. Okay, I think this is it. Now I think it looks much better. Let's set this layer to multiply and let's add a mask and paint with black so we can hide parts of the shadow. So now that we created the shadows, we match the subject colors with our background. I want to add another adjustment layer to our couple, which is photo filter, and be sure that you click on the thumbnail, not on the mask, and place this layer in our couples layer, which is by holding Alt and click between the layers. So I'm going to choose a bluish color, and now as you can see it adds a bit of bluish to our couple, which makes them blend much better into our background. I'm going to create a new layer, so click layer new and select from mode color dodge and fill it with black. I'm going to add some lights which will affect the couple and the background. Let's choose orange color. So now after you selected the brush tool, and be sure that the flow is really small, like 4%, just paint and it will add some color on your couple. Alright, now I'm going to add more colors. Now I'm going to add more lights to our couple, so I'm going to create a exposure layer. Be sure that you place it inside your couple, and now increase the exposure a lot and invert the selection by holding Ctrl Command and press I, so you have black here, not white. Now take again the brush tool, set the flow to something around 40% and be sure white is selected, and decrease the brush size, and we are going to add some lights. As you can see, the guy already has some white light on his face. We are going to add more of that on the side of our couple. The head, as you can see, it adds some hairlines, which already makes this much better. Alright, I'm going to speed up a bit this process. Usually what I'm doing here is just draw with that brush. So we've added some lights to the couple. So this is with, this is without. Okay, now I'm going to add some color to the couple so that sun color will reflect on their skin and clothes also. I'm going to create a new hue and saturation layer. I'm going to place it inside, and then I'm going to make this couple more reddish, orange, something like that. And then I will do the same thing. I'm inverting by pressing Ctrl Command I. And I'm taking again the white brush tool, the white color, and now if you paint, you'll see that it will add some orange tint to the couple. So these are our reflection on the couple and also the trolley. And now let's add a levels adjustment layer. Place it inside by holding Alt or Option. And now let's decrease a bit the lights on the couple. I'm going to do the same thing now. I'm inverting the mask by pressing Ctrl Command I. Take the white color with the brush selected, and now I'm going to darken a part of the image because it's too light. So if you paint with white now, you'll see that it will make some parts of the image more darker. Let's choose 4% flow and choose the parts that normally should be darker. Another thing that I'm going to do now, I will add some lights and shadow to their clothing and their body. So I'm going to create a new layer, so select layer, new layer, and choose soft light and fill it with 50% gray. The same, add it to the couple, so hold Alt or Option and click between the layers. And now I want to bring back some parts of the shadows and some parts of the lights on their clothing and their body. So zoom in, and then with the black selected, choose the brush tool with the flow around 6% and just paint on the darker parts of the t-shirt, for example, and it will make them more dark. And also the same thing with the body shadows. And it works the same with the hair parts. So those were the shadows. As you can see, it adds more volume to our image. And now I'm going to change the color to white and repeat the same process with the lighter parts of our image. Okay, I think we finished. Let's group everything into one layer. So press Ctrl Alt Shift and I and it will do a screenshot of everything. So convert this one, right click and convert it to a smart object. Go to Filter and choose Camera Raw Filter. Now let's play a bit with the controls. So those are the settings that I've used. At the end I'm going to add some grain to mix everything much better. So click OK. This is our final result. Let's group everything into one layer, so hold Shift and select all the layers besides the background, group them into one group. This was the starting picture and this is our couple added to the background. Okay, let's move on to the next phase of our tutorial. I have this picture from Paris and we are going to use the couple again. Let's shrink them, so press Ctrl Command T and make them smaller. And let's find them a good perspective. So because it's a night scene, now I'm going to change their colors to something more dark. Let's add a curves adjustment layer, decrease the colors a bit, place this inside our layer, so hold Alt or Option and place it inside our couple. Now let's add levels and make this picture darker. Okay, place it inside. Alright, now let's add a photo filter adjustment layer, place it inside our couples layer by holding Alt or Option. Let's change the color a bit. Okay, and now let's add another levels adjustment layer. Finally, I'm going to add a brightness and contrast adjustment layer, and I'm going to play around a bit with the settings. I'm going to increase the brightness and also the contrast. Let's add the shadows as we did in the previous example. So create a new layer, take the brush tool, and as you can see, we need a brownish shadow. Alright, let's increase the flow, set this layer to multiply, and let's draw the shadows. Alright, so we created the contact shadows. Now let's create a bigger shadow. So hold Ctrl or Command and click on the couples layer. Go underneath and create a new layer. Fill it with this brownish color. After you created the shadow, press Ctrl T, right click and flip it vertically. Drag it down. And now hold Ctrl Command and drag the left corner to the left and find a good perspective for the shadow. As you can see, we have many lights, so I'm going to create the shadow accordingly to the tower shadows. Right click, convert it to a smart object, and then go to Edit and Puppet Warp. Zoom in and let's keep those points in the same place. Okay, and drag this shadow more to the top. Okay, we have created our bigger shadow, and now I'm going to set this one to multiply, and let's hide a part of this shadow by adding a mask and paint with black on that mask. Let's increase the flow to around 40%, and let's paint a bit on our shadow. I think this is a nice shadow. Alright, so because we have some more lights on the left tree, I'm going to add some more shadows to our couple. So hold Ctrl or Command and click on our thumbnail of the couple, create a new layer, fill it with that brown color. Alright, and now press Ctrl Command T and flip it vertically. Drag it all the way down. Okay, zoom out so you can see better, and hold Ctrl again or Command and drag the right corner to the right. Okay, I'm going to move this shadow a bit. I think something like that. Alright, zoom in, choose again Edit and Puppet Warp, and let's play a bit with the shadows. Alright, set this to multiply again, create a mask and paint with black. Alright, so we have all of the shadows, and now let's add some lights to our image. Create a exposure adjustment layer, place it inside and increase the exposure, and then reverse the mask by holding Ctrl and I. Alright, take the white color now and use the brush, choose a 30% flow and paint on the side of our subject. Because we have those lights on the tree, they will reflect some color on our couple. So create a new hue and saturation layer, place it inside our couple, and now press colorized, decrease the saturation and find a good yellow color and increase also the light. I think this is it. Invert by pressing Ctrl Command I, invert the mask, and now if you paint with white, you'll see that it will add some lights, some yellow lights on our subject. And because the tree is on the left, we'll have some lights on the left side of our couple. Now set this layer to overlay, and we have those beautiful lights that come from the left. And because we have some lights that come from the front, we'll do the same thing, but I want to add more lights to the overall background. So create a new layer, layer new, and choose this from the top, and from the mode choose color dodge, fill it with black, and now if we paint with an orange color, we'll add more color to the entire background. Be sure that the flow is really low, like 4%, and if we paint, you'll see that it will add more overall colors to our final result. Let's set the opacity to 40%. I want to add more lights that come from the left tree, so I'm going to create a new layer and fill it this time with screen, and I'm going to paint with the orange color also to reflect some color on the couple. Alright, now let's add a screenshot of everything. Let's group all the layers into one layer. So hold Ctrl Alt Shift and I, right click, convert it to a smart object, go to filter and choose camera raw filter. Let's play a bit with the controls. And this is the final result. I hope you enjoy traveling around the world with me. If you do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.